Hello, my name is Stephen Bell. I'm the Southeastern Regional Manager for the Euclid Chemical Company. I'd like to present to you today the basics of concrete. Concrete has four basic elements: coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, Portland cement, and clean water. The finished product of all these components is called concrete. Here's a cement tanker that you typically see carrying the cement powder that is only one component of concrete. This is a ready-mix concrete rear discharge, typically see in this area. This is a concrete mixer truck front discharge. Let's talk about cement powder, the most important part of concrete. Portland cement has five major components: tricalcium silicate, 50%, dicalcium silicate, 25%, tricalcium aluminate, 10%, tetracalcium aluminoferrite, 10%, gypsum, 5%. When you mix Portland cement and water together, it creates a paste that surrounds the mixture of all the aggregates and starts a chemical process called hydration. Hydration is a chemical reaction in which major components in cement form chemical bonds with water molecules and become hydration products. Hydration will continue as long as moisture is present and the temperatures are favorable. That's why you typically want to cure concrete after it's placed, to hold that water in as long as you can to get a stronger compressive strength. Aggregates, there's two types of aggregates: coarse aggregates, which is gravel or crushed stone; fine aggregates, which is natural sand or manufactured sand. Manufactured sand is typically the fines that are left over when they're manufacturing gravel and crushed stone, and then they take those fines and sell them as fine aggregate. Aggregates should be well graded and clean. Once hydration starts, the cement paste will harden around the aggregate to interlock all of them together, forming a rock-like mass. Here's a picture. As you can see, these large areas are this is a microscopic picture. These large areas are the coarse aggregate, and these smaller areas are your fine aggregates in here with a cement paste bonded around them, creating concrete. Talk about the concrete mix design. Here's a sample concrete mix design. There's 300 pounds of water, 526 pounds of cement, 1,866 pounds of coarse aggregate. This is showing a 1% air, which we'll talk about in a minute, and 1,292 pounds of fine aggregate. The water-cement ratio is very important. Water-cement ratio is done pounds of water divided by pounds of cement, the WC ratio. 1 gallon of water weighs 8.33 pounds. You must have enough water to hydrate the cement, but inadequate water is used for workability. But too much water is bad for the mix. The typical water-cement ratio for residential concrete in the Southeast is about 0.48 to 0.53. There's also air in concrete. There's millions of microscopic bubbles in the concrete. It acts like ball bearings in the concrete for better finishability. Helps prevent scaling in concrete by creating voids in the concrete for water to expand and contract during freeze-thaw cycles. Here's another microscopic picture of all the air bubbles. You can see the aggregates we were looking at a while ago with all these small porous opens here are microscopic air bubbles where when they were formed, when concrete hardened up, those air bubbles burst and left those voids for the water to be able to get in and out of. Here's a picture of scaling. It's where the water gets underneath the top if it doesn't have enough air, where it can expand and contract, and then when it expands, when it freezes, it pops the top of the concrete off. Two types of air in concrete: entrapped air, which occurs during mixing of the concrete, folding over of the concrete, which is typically 1 to 3% by volume. Entrained air, which is a chemical agent added to the mix to entrain air into the concrete. is typically in residential concrete outdoors is about 4 to 6% in the southeast. You typically don't want to put it in indoor concrete. Too much air is bad for the concrete strength. You get way too much air in there, it weakens the concrete and you get bad strengths. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please present them to your instructor and she'll get them back to me and we can get them answered as soon as possible. Thank you. Have a good day.